I walked into the private dining area and immediately sensed this wasn't about breakfast. The lighting felt harsh, the tabletop spotless. A neat pile of documents sat next to a single pen. My mother, Laura, gave me a warm smile. A man in a formal suit watched me over the top of his laptop screen. I'm Sarah, 28 years old. Working in technology had shown me how to spot setups. We're here to discuss fairness after your father's passing, Mom explained. The man introduced himself as her legal counsel. He pushed a contract across the table, proposing to reallocate my inheritance. I scanned the people seated around us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I quietly messaged Elena, the lawyer my dad had trusted. Before we continue, where are you right now? Maybe in a peaceful kitchen, sitting in your car, or stealing a moment during your shift. Pieces of real life travel with you. I wasn't always the person silently counting heads in a closed-off space. Once I was just a child growing up in a calm San Diego neighborhood. Back then, family meant weekend trips to Costco and evenings playing board games. It included my dad's awful puns about coding languages. My father, Richard, worked as a software developer. He kept driving the same reliable Honda because it ran perfectly fine. He saved leftovers and cleared his credit card balance every month. He took quiet pride in maintaining an excellent credit history. My mom, Laura, couldn't stand that kind of satisfaction. She dreamed of exclusive neighborhoods and picture-perfect getaways posted online. She craved the appearance of wealth. When I turned 15, the differences finally broke everything apart. They called me to the kitchen table as though it were a formal discussion. Dad had organized bank statements into tidy piles. Mom had her tablet displaying luxury properties. She said she was exhausted from scraping by. He replied he was worn out from keeping up appearances. Following the separation, I spent most of my time with Dad. We lived in a simple condo close to Carlsbad. Nothing extravagant. At night, with my window cracked open, I could hear the waves. On Fridays, he let me choose takeout tacos. We'd eat them straight from the foil containers while lounging on the sofa. He showed me how to use budgeting tools and retirement accounts. He taught me that good credit outweighs any designer purse. Meanwhile, Mom relocated to Orange County and quickly transformed her lifestyle. She married Victor, a charismatic real estate professional. Overnight, her social media became a glossy magazine spread. Coordinated outfits, vineyard tour, flawless outdoor portraits. I was still her biological daughter, yet I never appeared in those images. She rarely asked about my grades or my goals. When she reached out, it was usually to boast about Mia and Ethan. And whenever my name surfaced, the conversation circled back to finances. Late at night, Dad would sit on the edge of my bed and tell me, "You never owe anyone your tomorrow. Create something solid and honest." I didn't realize he was quietly building safeguards for me too. Years passed, and my father left this world in a way I never expected. It was a stormy Tuesday evening on the I-5 freeway. A sleepy motorist veered into oncoming traffic. The highway patrol notified me once everything had ended. My reality shrank to a single crushing moment. The memorial service stayed small, exactly as he would have preferred. A handful of colleagues. Some neighbors. Just me. Struggling to breathe. Mom showed up dressed entirely in black, resembling a dramatic film character. Victor stood close, palm resting on her shoulder. Mia and Ethan lingered behind them like background figures. Mom's sobs echoed, loud enough to draw attention from others. I remained near my father's urn, feeling only emptiness and chill. Afterward, outside the venue, a woman came up to me. Navy jacket. Sensible shoes. Steady gaze. "I'm Elena," she said. "Your father's lawyer." We took a seat at a plain metal table near the chapel. The scent of brewed coffee and funeral flowers hung in the air. Elena explained that Dad had revised his documents multiple times after the split. He insisted everything remain precise. He also wanted me shielded from outside pressure. She avoided mentioning Mom directly. She didn't need to. The will left no room for doubt. All of his individually owned assets passed to me. The modest Carlsbad home, his retirement accounts and rolled-over plans, low-cost index funds plus a small selection of technology shares. Not extravagant wealth, thoughtful, deliberate savings.
Like, subscribe, and smash that bell before it smashes you. Stay with Reddit Tales Times for chilling twists, haunting tales, and daily doses of the disturbing. You've been warned. Like, subscribe, and smash that bell before it smashes you. Stay with Reddit Tales Times for chilling twists, haunting tales, and daily doses of the disturbing. You've been warned. Like, subscribe, and smash that bell before it smashes you. Stay with Reddit Tales Times for chilling twists, haunting tales, and daily doses of the disturbing. You've been warned.
Accumulated through consistent, sensible decisions. Alina described the probate process clearly. The court confirms the will's validity. Assets move legally. Prevents unofficial family deals from overriding the original intent. Then she met my eyes. Your father wanted you to stay in charge, she said. My phone vibrated during our conversation. A message from Mom. Not checking on me. Not offering comfort. Simply, we should discuss the estate. Followed by, consider the entire family. At first, I replied cautiously. I mentioned that probate had begun. I noted that Dad had his own attorney. She brushed that aside and pressed for figures. Approximate values. Account summaries. Balances. When I hesitated, the guilt arrived quickly. I raised you. Raising teens costs a lot. Mia and Ethan deserve college support. You need to step up and do what's right. Soon her tone shifted in the voice messages. Attorneys cost money, Sarah. This could stretch out for years. You don't want things turning nasty. She even hinted that my credit rating might suffer, as though my mourning carried a financial penalty. I forwarded every message to Alina. She instructed me never to disclose amounts, never sign documents, never agree to private meetings. So I followed the habits Dad had instilled. I began keeping careful records. Dates, timestamps, captured screens, every family communication that carried pressure. That's when Mom sent the invitation labeled as brunch. If this happened in your own family, how would you respond? Comment 1 if you'd go alone to preserve harmony. Comment 2 if you'd bring legal counsel and record every detail. Mom selected a restaurant in Irvine that deliberately felt upscale. Gentle background music, thick glassware, staff who remained expressionless. She promised it would be a limited gathering. She said we'd settle everything peacefully. Alina and I prepared a strategy. I would enter first and assess the situation. Alina would stay close by. I'd message her the moment I needed backup. The hostess guided me past romantic couples and hushed work meetings. Toward the rear, a frosted door marked private in elegant script. My pulse raced as it swung open. Mom occupied the head position, dressed in black. Victor sat beside her in a fitted jacket. Mia and Ethan were present. Gazes lowered. Ready smiles on standby. Opposite them sat a man wearing a charcoal suit. Laptop powered on. No sign of food menus. A thick folder of papers rested on the table. A pen positioned precisely beside it. My name stood out in large print on the opening page. Terms such as reallocation and irrevocable caught my eye instantly. Sarah, you're here, Mom said with exaggerated cheer. We simply want to discuss fairness. The man rose and introduced himself as Daniel. Attorney, he stated. Here to assist the family. The word family felt carefully weaponized. Mom leaned in with rehearsed concern. Your father's will doesn't match the current situation, she explained. Higher education costs so much. She motioned toward Mia and Ethan as though they were evidence. We only want everyone taken care of. Daniel gently pushed the document my way. Family Settlement Agreement, the title announced. He described a joint trust meant to benefit the group. Then he mentioned the split as though it were reasonable. 65%. I held my expression neutral. Internally, anger surged upward. My father had worked extra hours and chosen a modest lifestyle for a purpose. This was exactly that purpose. I asked a single question. What happens if I refuse to sign? The atmosphere chilled. Victor moved uncomfortably. Mia fixed her eyes on her plate. Ethan stayed glued to his screen. Daniel clasped his fingers together. Things could get difficult, he replied. Delays, expenses, court records open to the public. Once again, he brought up my credit score. As if intimidation were part of the deal. Mom's tone grew sharper. We're offering you an opportunity to prove you care. You aren't the only one grieving. I slowly surveyed the entire table. Then I counted aloud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mom scowled. Sarah, that's enough. I smiled regardless. You're correct, I said. This isn't funny. I took out my phone and sent one short message. I texted Elena, my father's attorney. At that moment, a firm knock sounded at the door. The hostess opened it and Elena walked in. Navy jacket, file in hand, composed expression. Hello, Laura, Elena said. I understand you'd like to talk about Sarah's inheritance. And in that instant, Mom understood the meeting no longer belonged to her. After that encounter, the hurt act vanished. Anger took its place. For 3 full days, my phone remained silent. No messages, no voice notes, no emotional lectures. I almost thought Elena had ended it all. Then the texts returned, noticeably colder. You've become someone else, Mom wrote. Your father would be disappointed. If you continue, the process will only get messier. That evening, Elena phoned me. When guilt stops working, she explained, they switch to financial pressure. So I secured everything tightly. Fresh passwords, 2-factor authentication everywhere. Security answers impossible for anyone else to know. I placed credit freezes with all 3 major bureaus. It felt like sealing windows in broad daylight. 2 days afterward, an email landed in my inbox. Identical bank logo. Matching color palette. Familiar subject format. Urgent action needed. My thumb paused above the link. Instinct warned me. I hovered over the URL instead. The address looked almost correct, but not quite. 1 added character. 1 omitted hyphen. A chill ran through me. I contacted the bank directly using the number on my card. They confirmed they had sent no such message. They also reported multiple failed login attempts from an unfamiliar device. I saved every detail. Screenshots, call summaries, reference numbers. Next, I submitted a report through the IC3 website. Filling out the form felt surreal with Mom's name so close. Elena advised installing security cameras. I ordered a video doorbell plus 2 compact indoor units. After work, I set them up barefoot in the hallway. 1 pointed toward the mailbox area. Another covered the front entrance. For 7 days, everything seemed ordinary. Delivered packages. Collection day. The neighbor's barking dog. Then one Tuesday during a work call, my phone alerted me. Motion detected. I checked the live view discreetly under the desk. Victor's SUV idled at the curb, engine running. The glow from his laptop illuminated his face through the glass. Another notification came from the mailbox camera. Mom stood there, phone pressed to her ear, surveying the parking area. My heart pounded hard. Right then my banking app pushed an alert. Unknown device trying to access your account. The timing aligned perfectly with the footage. down to the exact minute. I started screen recording and held my breath. Mom glanced toward Victor's vehicle. Victor typed on his laptop. Then Mom casually walked off as though nothing occurred. That night, I reviewed the bank's security history. IP address, exact timestamps, repeated failed attempts. All the pieces matched. Elena didn't reply by text. She called immediately. Her voice was crisp. "This qualifies as attempted identity theft," she stated. The following morning, we submitted a formal police report. I supplemented the IC3 filing with the recordings and logs. For the first time since losing Dad, I stopped wondering. I knew what Mom was capable of doing. I had undeniable evidence she had already tried. This had moved beyond family tension. It became an official investigation. Legal proceedings take time. A week later, the detective contacted me. He confirmed the records aligned with the video evidence. He said there was sufficient basis to proceed. The court appearance took place in downtown San Diego. Nothing like courtroom dramas. Simply wooden benches and heavy air. Elena sat next to me, file ready. Mom positioned herself across the aisle. Victor remained stiff, jaw clenched. The prosecutor spoke evenly, laying out the evidence methodically. The fraudulent email. Login attempt logs. The video timestamps matching precisely. The screen displayed my mailbox footage. Mom looking around the area. Phone to her ear. Then Victor inside the SUV. Laptop open. Followed by my bank's immediate alert. Timed to the second. Their attorney labeled it a simple confusion. Elena rose and kept her argument straightforward. Individually owned accounts. Probate already finalized. No authorization given. During my testimony, I remained calm. Precise. Factual. Well documented. The judge rejected the explanations. He classified it as attempted fraud. Not merely a domestic dispute. They received fines along with probation. They were ordered to cover my legal expenses. The judge issued a 5-year restraining order. No phone calls. No messages. No indirect contact via others. Victor's professional license was reported to his regulating body. I watched his posture slump. Outside the building, Mom avoided looking at me. I didn't pursue her. I simply continued walking forward. At home, the quiet felt new. My phone stayed silent. My accounts remained protected. The doorbell camera captured routine deliveries. Not warnings. I began counseling and maintained my daily habits. Work, morning coffee, strolls along the coast. I stopped justifying my limits to those who gain from crossing them. Certain people remarked, "But she's still your mother." I came to understand a painful reality. Biological connection doesn't grant unlimited access. My father didn't only leave me assets. He left me perspective. If this story touched you, feel free to like and share.